Hello and welcome to my January wrap-up. As always, we are starting with the books I've hauled in January, and the first one is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, the third book in the Empyrean series. I can show you this beautiful German copy with sprayed edges, and this is the naked hardcover. And I not only hauled this book, I also already read this book in January. And the second book I got is Redeeming Six by Chloe Wald, the fourth book in the Boys of Tommen series. This is also the German copy, also with sprayed edges. And I can't wait to read this in February, or now when I'm filming this I already started because this is on my February TBR. But for now, for my January wrap-up, this goes on my haul side. And the third and final book in my book haul is Leave Me Behind by K.M. Moronova, a dark military romance that I found over TikTok and got pretty hyped about as I saw the illustrations the author made herself, and as I saw the little scenes she posted on TikTok. I wanted to read it, and so I got it and already started reading it in January and will probably finish in February, so I will tell you more then. And yeah, that's all. These are all the books I've hauled. Only 3 books, which is pretty exciting for me, especially because this is one of my goals for 2025, to buy more intentionally, to get less books, to work on my TBR. So this was pretty successful in January. And let's see which books I've read. Let's start with the ebooks. The first one is Hero by Katie Buckley, an arc I got in November, I think. It is literary fiction and definitely not a book for everyone, but I liked it. It is pretty much a book about female rage, about feminism, about sexism, about women that have to be the support system for men in relationships and have to be the part of the relationship that has to make compromises. And it jumps a lot between scenes and time and places. So you really have to pay attention while reading it because it all happens every few paragraphs. So that's why I think it is not for everyone. Because the writing style is pretty artsy, I would say, but it made me rage. I think especially for women this is pretty relatable, so I can only recommend it if you are into these types of books. And the next book that I've read is Us Against You, the second book in the Beartown trilogy by Fredrik Backman. I've waited 4 years since book 1 to read this because I knew this was emotional damage, and yes, it was, but the way I like it. I love these kind of books that made me feel so much, and I can't wait to read book 3 now. Fingers crossed that I not wait 4 more years to read it, but I plan to read it in March with my friends. So let's see if that all turns out as planned. But this was probably the highlight book for me in January and a 5-star read. So I can only recommend the Beartown series if you are into emotional damage books. And now we get to the physical books I've read. I've told you already I've read Onyx Storm, which I liked. Not loved, but liked. And I can't wait to read more of the Empyrean series. And I've read The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle, or I tried to read it, because I DNF'd 224 pages into the book because I wasn't interested in the characters or in the story. I wasn't invested and rolled my eyes more than I enjoyed reading this. So I DNF'd, because also a goal for me to DNF more books that I think are not worth my time, and worth my time are 4 or 5 star reads, and this was maybe a 3-star read for me. So this was it. The next book was Lights Out by Nerissa Allen, a dark romance meets rom-com story. This is a mix I didn't expect working, but it works for me. It works pretty well, and I can't wait to read more of it. Please check the trigger warnings for this book before you read it. And if you are into this kind of books, I definitely recommend listening to the audiobook while reading this, because the audiobook is chef's kiss. I love the narrators, especially the male narrator. But before I read more of that mix of genres, I read The Sharp Edge of Silence by Cameron Kelly Rosenblum. This is young adult, this is dark academia, and I really liked this book. Also for this book, check trigger warnings, because it deals with heavy topics, but I liked how it deals with it, and I really inhaled this book. I read this in my Thursday book club read with me's, and I already put up a video talking about this book. So if you want to know more about The Sharp Edge of Silence, look on my channel, you can find the video. And we are getting already close to the end, because this is the last book I've read in January. This is Lover Enshrined, the 6th book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. It is fairy story, and the one I like the least from now in the series. It was a reread for me, so it doesn't count for working on my TBR, but we are getting there, because there are later books in the series that I haven't read, but I need the rereads to read the other books. We are already there. This is all that I've read in January. Not as much as in the last month, but that is okay. I have the feeling that I'm reading less in the moment, but I still enjoy reading, and that is everything that counts. So we will see how February goes. And before we get to February, we have one last thing to do, because I also want to see which books I will unhaul. And yes, there is one particular book I will unhaul from this stack, and that is the book that I've DNF'd. Surprise, surprise! I will unhaul The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. I will not continue this series, and this will find another good home, I hope. And with that, yeah, I already wrapped up my January. This is it, plus the ebooks. And I can't wait to work now on my February TBR and new videos. So like this video if you want, follow my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!